get to the news. After victories in Nevada and Arizona over the weekend, Democrats are projected to maintain control of the Senate. But it's worth noting, barely. Democrats are in control of the Senate the way your grandma is in control of her Chrysler. Yeah, she has the steering wheel, but I still don't feel totally safe. Former President Trump has announced that he plans tomorrow to make a, quote, very big announcement. That's right. He's very excited to announce that the 2024 election has already been stolen from him. It's very unfair what the future holds. Yep, former President Trump is reportedly set to announce his third run for president, though at this point, the hats are becoming untenable. President Biden's 80th birthday is this weekend. He'll celebrate the same way he does every year until 7 p.m. All right, that's enough. Time for bed, folks. According to a new poll, voters would prefer Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to be the Republican presidential nominee in 2024 over former President Trump. I can only assume it was because they weren't given a third choice. Former President Trump's daughter, Tiffany, got married on Saturday, and not as I thought from the looks of that archway on Easter. What'd you do at the reception? Hunt for eggs? Former President Trump gave a toast over the weekend at his daughter Tiffany's wedding and said, quote, have a great life together. Well, that's very nice, but after last week, we all know what a Trump endorsement is worth. Former President Trump attended his daughter Tiffany's wedding over the weekend and danced with her to Here Comes the Sun. Wow. Usually in that family, Here Comes the Sun is a warning. And finally, authorities in New York arrested a mother last month after she allegedly allowed her 10-year-old son to get a tattoo. Worse, the tattoo was to celebrate 1 year without a cigarette. You'll think about it on the way home and like it more. President Biden met in Bali yesterday with Chinese President Xi Jinping. It was the second most awkward meeting of the week. And you say, you're a daughter of mine? That's great. Congratulations. President Biden reportedly told House Speaker Nancy Pelosi last week that he hopes she remains in office. He then waited 40 seconds for her to say it back. Arizona Secretary of State and Democratic gubernatorial candidate Katie Hobbs is projected to defeat Republican Kari Lake. Apparently, voters didn't think Lake was a real Arizonan because nowhere in the state is it that foggy. More than a year after his apartment and office were raided by the FBI, federal prosecutors announced yesterday that Rudy Giuliani will not face criminal charges, and I'll bet he's relieved because he's really been sweating it for the last 20 years. Former Vice President Mike Pence today released his memoir titled So Help Me God, which is just what he says whenever he sees a woman wearing slacks. ABC News aired an hour-long sit-down interview last night with former Vice President Mike Pence. So if you've ever wondered what an hour-long interview with Mike Pence is like, watch a 5-minute one. The CDC last week named several states in its worst category for flu levels, including Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina, Tennessee, and South Carolina. Basically, if your college football team is any good, get your flu shot. An Illinois couple recently got married in the aisle of an Aldi grocery store, and then they splurged on the honeymoon. Former President Trump officially launched his 2024 presidential campaign last night from the ballroom of his Mar-a-Lago club, though it's hard to take a campaign announcement seriously when you don't even leave the house to do it. I will lead America to greatness again. All right, I think I'm going to go up and read for a while. Can you guys keep it down? Former President Trump officially announced last night that he will run for president in 2024. I mean, okay, but if you're going to do it, we're going back to the 2016 jokes. It's going to be tiny hands, bad hair stuff. We're going to mix it with Hamilton and the Lady Ghostbusters. The jokes are going to be so hacky, you'll think Hillary wrote the monologue.
Pokemon go to the polls.
You'll wish they were that good. When asked by a reporter yesterday if he had any reaction to former President Trump announcing his 2024 campaign, President Biden said, quote, not really. Can't blame him. It's still 2 years away. That's like someone asking you if you're excited for Avatar 3. I don't know, man. Gonna see how 2 looks, I guess. During his speech last night, former President Trump bragged about his close relationship with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Replied Kim Jong-un, no, don't endorse me. I saw what happened in the midterms. NBC News has projected that Republicans will take control of the House of Representatives, thankfully this time the legal way. Former President Trump's daughter Ivanka issued a statement last night that she will not be participating in his 2024 campaign. Said Jared, can you sign that from both of us? The makers of Coors Light yesterday launched a color-changing nail polish that can be used to help customers decide when their beer is cold enough to drink, or if you're out of nail polish, try touching the can. Producers have released the first trailer for the third Magic Mike movie. The news first reported in a truly garbled text from your mom. And finally, today was actor Pete Davidson's 29th birthday. And if you're... Let me see if I can figure out the connective tissue. Oh. Today was actor Pete Davidson's 29th birthday, and if you're wondering what to get him, nothing. He's fine. The White House is reportedly planning to present President Biden with a birthday cake on Saturday at his granddaughter's wedding, and if you're wondering how old he is, he'll be at his granddaughter's wedding. That's right, President Biden will celebrate his 80th birthday on Sunday, while Fox News will celebrate it all year long, baby! In a speech today from the House floor, Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced she will not seek another term as Democratic leader, but will remain in Congress to finish her term. Meanwhile, in the Senate, his eternal curse remains unbroken. The Senate yesterday passed a bill to expand medical marijuana research by unanimous consent. They also decided by an 85-15 vote that unanimous is a funny word. Former White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney said in a new interview that he thinks former President Trump is, quote, the only Republican who can lose in the 2024 election. Hold my beer, said Herschel Walker to a mailbox. During a campaign stop yesterday in Georgia, Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker spent more than 2 minutes trying to recount plot details from an untitled vampire movie. Said Walker, oh, it's not a movie. Tell him, mailbox. At the same stop, Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker talked about werewolves and vampires and said, quote, I don't want to be a vampire anymore. I want to be a werewolf. Well, one thing's for certain, he definitely doesn't want to be a senator. Fans of the singer Morrissey are upset after he recently ended his concert abruptly after just 30 minutes without any warning. Fortunately, if there's one thing Morrissey fans love, it's when Morrissey makes them upset. You know, I'm zinging a couple of old high school girlfriends with that one. A man in Japan had to remove a 90-inch jump rope removed from his bladder after he shoved the rope into his penis. On the bright side, he finally got those kids off his lawn. Do we have to show the X-ray? How about a jump rope? Microsoft yesterday added a collection of classic games to its Teams platform, including Solitaire. Yeah, because what says Teams more than Solitaire? The point is you do it alone. Did you also add cranking it? I mean, we're doing that jump rope penis bit. It's a good palate cleanser. Let's use an early 90s slang for masturbation. That also reminds me of those Morrissey fans. A Florida scientist recently found an entire alligator inside a Burmese python. It is. Oh. And I feel bad because this is maybe the tightest of all the jokes. This is maybe the most tightly written, and that's why I'm going to take it back, because, you know, credit where credit's due. Just try to think of anything else to clear your mind. Maybe the jump rope penis. A Florida scientist recently found an entire alligator inside a Burmese python. It's what's called a Florida turducken. Pretty good joke. Pretty good joke. We couldn't get the X-ray of what that would look like?